Welcome back everyone to another lesson in SDL2 with C. So for this vlog, we're diving into something every great game needs, which is the enemy and a collection detection. So by the end of this lesson, you'll have a working system with your character or player can move around, avoid enemy, and even detect collision between them, all using clean modular code. So let's get started. So for the project structure, we have the CMakeList.txt, we have the include folder, we have the SRC folder, and lastly, we have the assets folder. So inside the include folder, we have our header files. So we have the animation, collision, enemy, and game. So these are our header files. So inside the SRC folder, so we have the animation.c, collision.c, enemy.c, game.c, and the main.c. So inside the assets folder, we have the character PNG and the slime.png. So here we have the SameMakeList.txt. So SameMake will create the executable file and responsible for linking the libraries that we needed, and SameMake is the build system that we're going to use. So inside the collision.h file or the collision header file, we're going to have a two function prototype. So we have the check underscore collision and the clamp2 window or clamp_2 underscore window function. So the line 10 or the check underscore collision is a simple axis align bounding box collision. So we can actually use the built-in or we can define ourselves. So here in line 13, we have the clamp_2 dot window. It will going to keep the player or the character inside the screen bounds. So for the collision.c file, we're going to have a check underscore collision function. So in line 8 up to 13, so the collision function, we can use SDL built-in. Like I said before, SDL has intersection function. So for now, let's keep this way. So in line 15 up to 28, so this camera will clamp to the window that we created or the size of the window, and it will going to clamp the camera in that size. So now we have the enemy.h file or enemy header file. So in line 10 up to 15, we have the enemy struct. And here in line 18 up to 21, we have the function prototypes. So here inside the enemy.c file, in line 7 up to 17, we're going to have the enemy underscore create. So we're going to allocate the memory for a new enemy, and we're going to initialize the enemy properties. Now in line 20 up to 30, we have the enemy update. So we're going to have a simple patrol AI. So it will going to give the enemy a linear motion just only to 100 up to 7. So it is the boundary for our simple patrolling AI. So in line 33 up to 35, we're going to have an enemy underscore render. So here it will going to draw the enemy's sprite animation. So in line 38 up to 42, we're going to have an enemy destroy. So this function will free the memory and texture safely. So inside the animation header file, so in line 9 up to 15, we have the direction enum. So this direction enum is for the direction of the frames or the sprite sheet that we have. So in line 18 up to 29, we have the animation struck. So in line 32 up to 36, we have our function prototypes. So inside the animation.c file, here in line 9 up to 21, here we have the animation underscore create or the animation creation, and then it will going to allocate a memory for the animate in the heap, and we're going to initialize other properties. So in line 25 up to 36, we have the animation underscore update. So this function will responsible for the updating or updates which frame should be displayed. So in line 40 up to 43, we're going to have a animation underscore set underscore direction function. So it will going to change the direction and the movement state. So in line 47 up to 56, so we were going to have an animation underscore render function. So it will going to render or draw the correct frame of the sprite that we wanted. Lastly, in line 60 up to 62, we have the animation underscore destroy. This function will responsible for freeing the memory allocated for the animation struck. Now we have the game.header file, so game.h file. So in line 13 up to 14, we have a constant which is the window width and window height. So here we have also a game struct in line 18 up to 31. So the game structure, it will holds everything like window, renderer, character, enemy, and the state. So in line 34 up to 38, we have the function prototypes. So here inside the game.c file, in line 7 up to 28, we're going to initialize the SDL image for the accepting the PNG or for identifying the PNG file, and then the creation of the window and the renderer. So in line 41 up to 46, we're going to set our character or the game character texture, and we're going to create a texture directly using the image load texture. And here that is our we call this asset or the image that we're going to use, which is the character.png. And you can actually also, or you can actually create a texture out of the surface, like in line 30 up to 39. So that is the example of creating a texture from the surface. Now in line 49 up to 53, we will going to have our character initialization and setting up the property of our character. And in line 56, we're going to initialize our enemy. In line 58 up to 60, we will going to have our character speed. We're going to have our game running to true, and then we will going to have a game debug. In line 60, which is the game debug, it will going to enable the rectangle boundary or the collision boundary of a character and the enemy. Now for line 65 up to 70, we will going to have a game handle event. So here we are going to have our event loop. So in line 78 up to 80, we will going to get the keyboard state and also the movement, or we're going to set the movement to false and then the direction. In line 83 up to 102, this is the movement with the arrow keys. In line 105, which is the clamp underscore to underscore window function, it will going to apply the movement and ensure the character stays on the screen. So in line 107, we have the animation underscore set underscore direction function. So it will going to update the animation direction. In line 113 up to 123, we have the game underscore update function. So it will update the character and the enemy movements and check for the collision. So here in line 118 up to 122, we have our collision or checking for the collision. Now for the line 126 up to 145, we have the game underscore render. So this function is responsible for rendering our character and enemy. Now in line 134 up to 142, if ever the game debug is true, we will going to draw the character box, which is blue, and then also for the enemy, which is red. So in line 148 up to 156, so we have a game underscore cleanup. So we're going to clean up the resources that we used. Now we have our main.c file. So we have our main function. So this is the entry point of our program. So here we initialize the game and we have our main loop or the game loop that we have. So when the loop is finished or we exit from the loop, we're going to clean up also the resources that we used. So by using the game underscore cleanup function. Now we're going to build our project or game. So here we're going to use the same make list.txt that we have, and then we're going to build our executable files, and then we're going to run the executable file as well.
And there you have it. We have an enemy patrolling in their screen with a linear motion and a working collision detection system in SDL2 using C. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.